Alright, this is how it proves American black people. It says here that when the dragon saw you, it's after the dragon got cast out of heaven. Like we're gonna talk about the battle in heaven and stuff like that too. But that's where things kind of get wild. Like you have to understand, like my philosophy, how I look at things. I look for data and I plug it in. I mean, it's all a fact finding mission. So all the knowledge is out here. You can plug it in. And, like it will piece together a prophecy to you if you put in the knowledge in the correct sequence or whatever. That's the mathematical principle that I'm about to expound on, so you can like really understand how to piece together things in the Bible. And like I said, every calculation has a margin of error. And yeah, I mean, so this could be wrong, but like I said, how it's piecing together, I really doubt it. You know what I mean? Like it's just simple as that. Like with how things are coming together, this is adding up to where this is what it is. We're just fulfilling the prophecy right here, and people have to understand that there are going to be roles to be played. Anyway, but it says here that this woman who was going to get this group of people, this woman, was given 2 wings of a great eagle, which represents America. And the American symbol is an eagle, that she might fly into the wilderness to a place where she is nourished for a time and a half a time from the presence of the serpent. Like a lot of people don't realize, like slavery is actually like a blessing and a curse at the same time, because the devil, or Satan or whatever, didn't have a chance to really do what they wanted to do with black people, how they wanted to do it, to really get rid of them. And even though slavery was a Holocaust, it was a horrible thing, it actually protected us for a while, because America's laws, how they were formulated, were built to protect citizens. And how it was, I mean, eventually we became American citizens to the point where we couldn't be ravaged in the same way. Like if you look at Africa, there's like widespread damage over there. Everything looks, it's bad for black people over there. But in America, it's bad, but it's not as bad as that. You know what I mean? Like, so that's the blessing part of this whole thing. Slavery aspect of it was the horrible aspect of it. And that's like, it talks about everything right here. I mean, it covers that part too. But I don't know. I mean, it says like in that first prophecy to Moses or Abraham, where that was, where he talked about the 400 years, that they would be afflicted for a time. That's the affliction side of it. Like I said, it's the blessing and the curse. They talk about if you look in the Bible, there are several accounts of like the same story that adds up to the different, adds to different angles of the same thing happening, the same prophecy. Meaning at that time, it was going to be a time of great importance. They talk about the time when the Son of Man would come. And they talk about, that's what Revelation covers. It talks about when this man was going to rule the nation with a rod of iron, his son. His government will never end. It's going to be a universal world government that will never end. That is a crucial moment in time. And it's going to be a time when heaven is going to be on earth. Like that is an important time in the event. That's why they have so many angles covering it. And that's why they talk about it so much. A lot of people, if you believe in the Bible, I mean, to be honest, I mean, I suggest you get in and really get a true understanding, though. Understand, like, there are real things happening outside of your spectrum and outside of what you think of and you can talk about on a daily basis. Like, there are real things occurring. Like, but the devil deceives you of what is really going on. But the judgment in that time frame, all that ends. Like, there's a time when the devil can't tell his lies anymore. It's going to be the truth being told, and everybody must bear witness to the truth. And it's just that we're just in that time. And so there's going to be a lot of things going to come out in the public, and you're going to be like, oh, what? I mean, that's what it was? Like, yeah, that's what it was. You know what I mean? Like, you have to recognize reality when it comes to you. Anyway, and you can see, like, the devil stands up here to God and basically says he's going to try to devour this child as soon as it's born in Revelation 12, chapter 4. And it says, his tail drew a third of the stars of heaven, and he threw them to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman who was ready to give birth to devour the child as soon as it was born. Meaning that it was, the devil was down to God. And if you look in the Bible, they talk about, like, if you want to watch a Job story, I mean, right now, you see something, it's almost like God and the devil, it's almost like a bet's going on. Like, the devil stands up and says, okay, I mean, God wants to have a child being born who will rule all nations and establish a government of peace forever. The devil says, oh no, I will devour this child, meaning that I can take this child from you. You know, when they talk about the Job story, a lot of people wonder why is the story of Job in the Bible is in there as a sign of the end times of that person who will come. Like, there's a bet going on between God and the devil about this child, meaning that this child is going to be favored. Like, he's gonna rule a nation with a rod of iron. The devil says, no, I can take him. This is how he did in Job. I can take him and make him curse you. That's the trick. But the trick is to deceive everybody to where when the Messiah comes, you won't see him. You will be so steeped in everything else that you will miss the point. You will miss the boat. That's the bet. I mean, that's how the devil works. Like I said, he deceives the whole world. So, like I said, in the end times, there's going to be a whole level of knowledge that you have to be you have to recognize. It's going to be blatantly obvious to you, but you have to just recognize it's blatantly obvious. It's as simple as that. But back to the beast. Like I said, that this beast, which is basically going to be Antichrist, and I mean, honest, like based on the description, in the exact description of Obama, you know what I mean? Like it describes, like it has to describe him. It looks like this is what it is. I mean, I can cover it again. It says, now a beast which is like a leopard, meaning a spider animal. If you know anything about spider animal, meaning it's a mixed breed. Alright, so this is a mixed breed person. You have these descriptions, these beasts. Of course, you're not going to ever see a beast like this represents a person. A lot of times, when they have like more than one head, or a beast is a certain type of thing, it represents a group. It represents a group of people. I just haven't said this beast right here has 7 heads and 10 horns. Those horns all represent men. And it says like those men, it says those men were what's called the devil and Satan. I mean, like I said, like that. My philosophy is based on the fact that or at least my mathematical principle is based on, like I said, gathering facts and equating the men. So, gathering facts based on the religion of the Nation of Islam, where Elijah Muhammad states that the black man is God and the white man is the devil. That like a lot of people took that as a racist statement. What that really was giving people a view, a real life vantage point of what God and Satan is. Like a lot of people don't realize what that is. Like a lot of people, especially within the organization of the Nation of Islam, they don't even really fully understand what he's saying with that. I mean, some people do, but a lot of people don't really have a deep understanding of it, which is kind of, matter of fact, I was talking to somebody about this the other day, that's kind of why Malcolm actually affected, because even though, as intelligent as he was, he didn't even fully understand that mathematical principle, and that's what really caused his error. His error was to step away. And I think eventually he would have corrected that error and stepped back to the Nation of Islam. That's a whole other story. All that is, that's not saying like every white person you point to is Satan. What that is, like I said, giving you a event like Satan. Like I said, you know how in the Bible it says Satan talks to God and stuff like that. A lot of people wonder like, Satan talks to God. Like Satan, I mean, in a way, Satan doesn't talk to God all the time, but it happens a lot more than what people realize. Because Satan is a real life component, and just like God is a real life component. I mean, there are deep intricacies to understanding what God really is and how things really are. I mean, you know, they say God is omnipresent. Like God is the sole proprietor of everything, meaning that everything that exists within God's will, within God's desires. So, I mean, everything you can point to is God in that sense. But there's a real life component to God, and there's a real life component to Satan too. So you have to understand that too. Like they said, like right here, like Satan was this dragon that had 7 heads and 10 horns. Those 10